The topic I find morally outrageous is animal testing for the purpose of cosmetic or medical research. Animals are being put against their will to be tested on in uncomfortable and painful situations. Christian views on the status of animals have varied greatly. The traditional view is that humans are made in God's image, very different from the animals. This means humans can use animals to meet their own needs and do not need to worry about the animals' well-being. However, many Christians disagree. God made all of the animals, and he saw they were good. God gave humans stewardship over the animals, which means we needed to look after them and care for them. It is contrary to human dignity to cause animals to suffer or die needlessly. It is likewise unworthy to spend money on them that should go as a priority to go to the relief of human misery. So therefore, the church thinks it is okay to use animals in medical research, but not in cosmetic testing. Technically, no laws are being broken on a civil level and Christian level. It may not necessarily be morally right, but there are no laws against animal testing. The magisterium states that it is morally acceptable to practice animal testing if it remains within reasonable limits. To help remedy the injustice of this issue, we could avoid buying from brands who test on animals. Each year, more than 100 million animals, including mice, rats, frogs, dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters, guinea pigs, monkeys, fish, and birds are killed in U.S. laboratories for biology lessons, medical training, curiosity-driven experimentation, chemical, drug, food, and cosmetic testing. Before these animals die, some are forced to inhale toxic fumes, put into restraint devices for hours, have holes drilled into their skulls, skin burned off, or spinal cords crushed. In addition to all of this, animals are deprived of everything natural. A PEW Research Center poll found that 50% of adults in the U.S. oppose the use of animals in research and testing. So then why is it still legal? Why isn't it a bigger issue? In the Journal of the American Medical Association found that diseases that are artificially induced on animals, whether a mice or a monkey, are never identical to diseases in humans. For example, according to the former National Cancer Institute director, Dr. Richard Klausner, he stated, "We have cured mice of cancer for decades, and it simply didn't work on humans." If this is the case, why do labs keep putting animals through the awful torture? The U.S. Food and Drug Association has stated, currently 9 out of 10 experimental drugs fail in clinical studies because we cannot accurately predict how they will behave in people based on laboratory and animal studies. Despite all of the evidence that animal research and testing is inhumane, most countries, including the U.S., have grossly inadequate regulatory measures in place to protect animals from suffering and distress or to prevent them from being used when a non-animal approach is readily available. As for more than 11,000 facilities that the USDA does regulate, only 120 USDA inspectors are employed to oversee their operations. After all of this information has been thrown at you, you may ask yourself, what can I do? Well, all federally funded research is paid for with your tax dollars. The NIH needs to hear that you don't want your tax dollars used to underwrite animal experimentation. So you yourself can write a letter, tell your friends and family, or post on social media to help end animal testing.